This is your last call for My Wife the Dietitian. The show is just about to start.
Come on, let's go. Hurry up.
I'm trying. I can't get my shoe on.
Welcome to My Wife the Dietitian, a fun weekly podcast about nutrition and healthy lifestyle. I'm Rob, and together with my wife Sandra, we invite you to join us on this informative and entertaining journey through the complex world of healthy eating.
Join us each week as we strive to help you with transforming your overall health and relationship with food through up-to-date, evidence-based nutrition information. What's spice got to do with it? You've heard of the Spice Girls. Well, Bouchra from the Swept Away Inn is our favorite Spice Girl. Today we discuss cooking with spices, flavoring foods to make them traditional, authentically fusion, plus the importance of slowing down, eating together, and celebrating over delicious meals. We are excited to welcome Bouchra Savard from Swept Away Inn on today's show.
Enjoying the show? You can help others find it and enjoy it too by giving us a 5-star rating or review. If you feel like reaching out to us with a question or comment, you can send us an email at mywifetherd@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit our website at mywifethedietitian.com, as well as our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Enjoy the show. Welcome to My Wife the Dietitian. Hello, Sandra.
Hello, Rob.
How's it going?
Good. Today we're interviewing Bouchra Savard from the Swept Away Inn.
Bouchra.
Yeah, so excited. We do Zumba together. She's a Zumba instructor, but what she really does is she is a chef. She cooks from the heart.
She's a magician.
Oh.
She's a food magician.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Her cooking is so spectacular and so delicious.
And I think she's probably the only person I know that's got more like fire and passion than you do.
That's funny.
She's a lot of fun. I like Bouchra. That she's just always like full of energy and positivity, and and she brings that to her cooking.
Yes,
if that makes sense, you know.
Spicy.
She adds that energy and that love into her cooking, and it shows when you eat it. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever eaten." And
so good.
Yeah. Oh. So we're going to share that with you today. We're going to talk to Bouchra. She's going to share not her secrets, but just, I don't know, we're going to walk you through the whole experience. And she runs a super cool floating B&B with her husband on an old 100-foot tugboat from the 1940s. It's the coolest thing. And they serve these amazing Moroccan dinners. Bouchra's from Morocco, so she's got all her old recipes that she's remembered from when she was a child, cooking with her mother and her grandmother, and that's what she's sharing with all her guests. And there's people from all around the world that stay on their boat, and it's just such a really unique experience. And we're really excited to talk to Bouchra and have her share that experience with us today. So let's go track down Bouchra and get her talking.
Well, we're here with Bouchra Savard, owner and operator and master chef of the Swept Away Inn tugboat. Thank you for joining us, Bouchra. Can you tell our listeners what you do and your extraordinary, unique, and unconventional lifestyle?
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me here. So I am a chef, co-owner of the Swept Away Inn, the tugboat that is located in Port Alberni on the Centennial Pier. My husband and I, we run the business together. So I'm a chef, nutritionist, a fitness instructor, personal trainer, many other things, but my main love and passion is for food as a chef.
And tell everyone where you're from, because you have a unique, like your business on the Swept Away Inn is unique because of your background. So tell everyone about that.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Morocco. I lived there a short period of my life because I live my life in Canada is much longer. So I came here, I was 21 years old, and to Canada. Immigrated to Canada. And that's why my first love is Moroccan food, of course. And that's why we chose to make or create Moroccan food on the tugboat, because it's my first love. It's something that I'm so familiar with. I can cook it without a recipe. All the recipes are stored in my head from my childhood. All the recipes that I have, that I remember from my grandma and my mom in particular. So we specialize in Moroccan cuisine.
That's amazing.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, yeah. And looking at your website, I love your bio. Bouchra grew up in Morocco and learned to cook at her mother's side. Her passion for real, slow food is apparent in each dish that is presented at her table. Bouchra believes in sourcing local, organic ingredients and takes the time to prepare her own combination of flavorful spices and uses the fermentation method. Word has spread both near and far as diners extol the virtues of Bouchra's cuisine. I love that. You know, we've experienced Bouchra's amazing cooking on several occasions over the last decade, and wow, like we go to the tugboat. It's so cool. Like their Swept Away Inn is 100-foot tugboat in the Port Alberni Inlet, like in the port, and it's so cool to walk out on the dock and get on a boat to have dinner. Like it's just amazing.
Thanks, Sandra. That's so true.
Can you describe kind of like a typical night on the tug, just so people can visualize? I mean, like describe the tugboat itself, because it's pretty cool. It's like a floating, I don't want to say hotel, but it's like a house on water. It's a really cool boat, and then just the dinner experience is quite intimate, and then some of the food that you cook maybe, and just sort of for someone who's never been, to sort of describe it if you can.
Yeah, so from the outside, of course, you can see it's a converted tugboat. It's vintage. The boat was built in 1944, and that you can tell it's vintage, it's old. However, when you go inside the boat, it's so different. It's not your typical tugboat, because we made it at home. Since it is our home, we've lived on the tugboat since we purchased her. I like to call her.
Of course.
She's a strong female.
Right.
And so when you go inside, it's like a home. And of course, what we hear from our guests when they arrive is that when they open the door, is that smell of spices that hit them right in the face right away. Even though when I'm not cooking, because we've been using those spices for so long that they're actually everywhere. You can smell them.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah. So you enter the boat. When we have guests, we have a table. When we are doing dinners, we have a long table, and it's a family style. So we do family style dinner. So basically people are really forced to sit with each other. But when we don't have the dinners, it becomes our living room where we sit. Okay. Then, of course, you pass the saloon or the living or sitting area. There is the galley where I do all the cooking. And you pass the galley, then you go. There are all the cabins where the B&B guests stayed. So we have the house, and we have the upper deck where we have 3 cabins that we use for our guests. So
Wow.
Yeah, that's fun. And it is quite intimate. Like you're like a busy night would be like 16 people maybe, or have you done bigger?
Well, it can be bigger if we use the galley. So we can seat 8 people in the galley, and we can sit 14 people and in the dining area.
Wow.
So that can be that's a big night for us. Like that's the last. But in the summertime, sometimes we use the outside too. So we have 6 seatings as well outside. So that's a really, really big one. And we've had that many times, especially when we had we hosted the wedding dinners or so.
Right.
Oh,
Big group gatherings.
Right.
Yeah. When we had some celebrations, or when we had all the cabins rented or taken, like occupied, like so, because we have 7 cabins, that means it's 14 people. So when we are full, we have the 14 people, and these people, when they stay with us, they always want dinner. So we have that 14 dinners guaranteed for our guests. Then you have the locals who like to have dinners with us as well. So sometimes we end up using the outside or that galley. So
Right.
to make it work for the locals as well.
So I don't know how it's running now, but when we used to go, it was kind of like if you had space, anyone could come down for dinner. Is that still kind of how you do it? So you'd have a mix of guests plus locals?
Yes, always. That never changed, actually.
That's awesome.
We always invite locals to come, or anybody who's actually driving through, or if we have seats available, definitely. So that we make sure that our guests get the first seating first.
Of course,
and, yeah. So sometimes if we have just 6 people here, well, we still have the other 8 seats available.
Nice.
Oh,
And-
I love
so
that. Yeah.
It's not just for groups. And I know it's been kind of, some people, they've had this misunderstanding about that you had to have a group to dine with us, but it's not true. Because sometimes you can call and, we might have a couple seats available, or maybe 1 seat available because somebody canceled, or somebody didn't make it, or we just had only 6 people who booked. So that's why we are so unique. We're not just like any restaurant.
Yes.
So every time it's different, but the food is always amazing. So that never changes.
That is
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
great.
Oh, I can attest to that. And with your meals, like it's like a 5-course meal. Like it's just amazing. And you've done everything from like the very start to the very end, all by yourself. You guys just do it alone. And it's,
Yes.
yeah. Like what's an example of, like, I don't know, on Saturday night, what's dinner on Saturday night?
So, when you mentioned it's like the courses, and so if any Moroccan who's listening to this will understand, we Moroccans, we just eat. Like we are born to eat and make food, like literally, and it's never enough.
I might be part Moroccan, Bouchra. I think I've got
Rob,
that.
I think I've witnessed that with my own eyes.
Mhm.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you guys like to feed me, that's for sure.
Yeah, so we do like food for us is celebration. So we make lots of it,
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
right? So we celebrate with food. And when we have guests, it's not just one meal, it's meals, meals, meals. We really have to kind of, we just go until we can't go anymore. I remember a long time ago, some Canadians were in Morocco with us, and I remember we were invited for dinner, and I was very young at that time. I didn't even kind of pay attention to the rule of thumb about when you go to a Moroccan home not to eat all day. So took these people with us, and friends who were living in Morocco, and the first course came out, and I'm talking about 4 course. The first one, it was so large, like really big, and so these people, they ate lots, and I was eating with them, not even paying attention to it. The second meal came out, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and these people, they were just embarrassed because they couldn't eat anymore, but they felt so bad because they didn't want to make the host feel like, they were feeling just guilty. They just felt like they're obligated to eat. So, and I've witnessed with my own eyes zippers being open because they could not do it. So they turned to me, it's like, thank you for telling us.
Yeah.
Because I'm Moroccan.
That's too funny.
But anyways, yeah. So yeah, lots of food. So how do we do the food here? You come in, you have, you would start with drinks, of course. So everything is cooked at once. So we put everything on the table. So the idea for us doing this in the first place is just bringing people together. Now these days, people are not eating together, and we're missing that. And it's something I grew up with, and it's so dear to me. It's very important because it reminds me of that love and kindness that we share. And those conversations that we had at the table, they're so important because we're so busy. Everybody's so busy, and everybody's so stressed, so busy, and have no time to sit down with their own family, and stress and have nobody to talk to about those stressors as well. So it's so beneficial at many ways. And of course, insisted on doing it family style, knowing that we might take that risk of not too many people are going to be open to it. But really, that forcing that change really brought lots of people together and kind of get them out of their comfort zone. So we know for fact that there's some people who will never eat with anybody else, but will come here and do it anyways. Like they'll sit beside a stranger and get to know a stranger. And we've witnessed before where we had 4 continents or 5 continents sitting together at the same table. That was amazing. That was really cool.
Love that. Oh my God.
Yeah, really cool. So we do the appies first, then the main comes like the protein with a variety of side dishes, like a variety of side dishes. And then we ended with our homemade desserts. Again, like everything is homemade here.
That is awesome. What's an example of one of the dishes? Just like a typical Moroccan dish. What would that be?
For me personally, my favorite protein is lamb. For me, I know a lot of people are not too fond of lamb, but I believe based on the experiences we've had here, because I always ask people, why don't you like lamb? And they go, because it was really tasted really bad, or it smelled bad, like something they connected to a bad experience.
Oh, okay.
And I'm very proud to tell everyone that, I'm the best when I'm making lamb.
Oh, there you go.
No, it's true. Some people had bad experience and they will never try it again. And I really ask them, what if you can just take a bite first and see what do you think? And most of those people, actually, they've never had lamb before or had a bad experience. They tried the lamb that we make here, and they really, really told me that this is completely not what we expected, and they really fall in love with lamb again, because the lamb I cook is so different. Our spices are so different, and they're so organic. And the way I trim my lamb too, I don't cook it with all the fat, and I think the fat really, it's because it's very strong, and if it's cooked with it, it really it goes right into the muscle, and it just, what you taste is just fat. And so that's why people had bad experiences. The way I handle the lamb is different. So I trim my fats, and of course I always marinate my lamb overnight to allow for all those spices to really, really, mix and make the lamb really nice and tender.
Nice.
So that will be, the lamb will be the one.
That brings me to ask about the spices. Tell me what type of, I know that you guys did a trip back home to Morocco, and you brought some spices home because you wanted to source them from, the organic, exactly where that they're good. And what are some of the examples of the spices?
Oh yeah. So even if we don't go to Morocco, so my family still live in Morocco, and we bring spices. We ship them here. Everything. So all the spices we use. So cinnamon is number one spice used in Morocco. Cinnamon and turmeric.
Nice.
Ginger, dry coriander. I said cumin already, probably. Paprika and Spanish paprika, cayenne pepper, and saffron, of course. I can't forget about that one. And even my za'atar comes from Morocco, which is a wild thyme. Za'atar is wild thyme.
Oh.
I like to have wild thyme on Friday night. Well, that's tonight. And it's a full moon too, Friday night.
It is.
Right.
So yeah, it'll be really wild
It's
time.
tonight.
Exactly.
It's tonight, the longest day of the year, or yesterday was. But the saffron's a really delicate. It's a more tender, it's very the actual plant that I don't know. Do you know about saffron? Because it's not something I use regularly.
You never cook with it?
No, I haven't. I mean, it's just, that's one of the things. I think a lot of people I talk with, they're not familiar with using a lot of the spices. And that's why I wanted to talk to you, because you are a master with in the kitchen.
Yes.
And you're just, the spices you guys use and all of your meals are just so delicious and flavorful. And it's the combination, I guess, eh? There's the saffron, it's like a yellow color?
Yeah, so saffron is a spice derived from the flower of crocus.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
Okay, so yeah, so it's the inside of that flower that is picked, honestly, and it's so small and delicate. Okay, so it's known as the saffron crocus.
oh,
Okay, and they are
okay.
small threads, very tiny threads. They're collected and dried, and we use them for seasoning and cut and for like for me, I don't use them for coloring because I know some people will use them for just coloring, but they actually do have a taste.
Mm,
Okay,
mm.
so I use them for seasoning for me.
Okay.
Okay,
And some of the like I know that you have a lot of like bean like chickpea dishes too. And would you use the
yes.
saffron in that or where?
You know what? Like in a Moroccan cuisine is really, it's not just Moroccan. Moroccan cuisine is many, many cultures put together, many, many different foods put together. So saffron is really used lots in Spain as well. And there's like our food is very influenced by Spanish cuisine. So we tend to make lots of it. So yeah, it doesn't matter where you use it. You can use it with anything you want, but you just have to be careful with the taste because it's really potent. It's very strong if
Mm.
if it's not used or if it's misused.
Oh,
So you don't
okay.
need lots of it.
And I'm
Um,
thinking like also like with the lamb, Greek, like I know in Greece, with like souvlaki and other Greek dishes like that, lamb
I
is
don't know if they use. I don't think they use that. I don't think they
okay.
use
The
the
saffron.
saffron in the souvlaki. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't think so. But maybe. I mean, by all means, everybody has their own way of making food or seasoning it or fusing it, like we say. Because my food, even my Moroccan food, is fusion. I don't just make it very just traditional or authentic. Because there is no such a thing called authentic, anyways. Like now, there's so many cultures mixed together.
oh
Yeah,
yes.
true.
And here, even for me being in Canada for 32 years, I have learned many, many, many methods or many ways of cooking as well. So I bring those, and with the traveling as well, we go somewhere and I like to bring, what I've learned from the food that I ate there and kind of mix it with Moroccan food, and it becomes fusion, and it's so delicious combining them together.
And
Oh
it's fun
yeah.
too, right?
And it's a lots of fun to play with food. So it is like food is just, it's art, it's a play, it's like having a piece of painting and just start with a clear canvas and just go from there, and you can create whatever you want. So there's no specific ways of using saffron, but some dishes, like traditional, like let's say paella or paella, that's the Spanish one. Yeah, definitely. Every one of them has the saffron in it, right?
Mm,
Some of
mm.
the Moroccan dishes have saffron and some don't have saffron. Do you know what I
Oh,
mean?
interesting. Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. And getting back to when you said like just how food just is it's like art and with the flavors. And I know that you source your food locally, like your produce
Yes.
and your meat and your fish. So that makes a difference too. I mean, you're supporting the local community by, the local farmers. And we've been to some of your dinners where the farmer is at the table,
Yes.
and she's like, you've gone to her farm and got some produce and even maybe some of the like the chicken, and then
Yep.
that is the food that we're eating. So like truly the what is it, farm to fork,
Farm
but
to table. Yeah.
farm
Yeah.
to table. And with your fusion of the spices and your culinary methods of cooking, oh my gosh, it's just like it feels like a different world. Like it's just so delicious. The food is like it's truly nourishing. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
so like it the whole experience. And like when you're sitting
Mm-hmm.
at the table with people that you're not normally with, or even strangers from a different country, it's just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the whole
Yes.
experience. And it's
Yes.
so
It
good. Yes.
is. It is a great experience. It's very unique. It's very different. And again, it brings people together, and that is so important. And that's what food is all about. It's bringing us together. And we go
Yes.
back to that. Why are we doing this in the first place?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, your
We're
love
doing
of
it for that
food.
reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing I find really unique about dining on your is it a ship or a boat? What do you guys call it? On your tug.
We called her Lady Songhi.
Okay.
You can call her ship. Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So dining on your ship, you've got people from all over the world, literally. And you said typically a lot of Europeans, right? So you're not sitting with your neighbor. You're not sitting with the guy you work with. You're sitting with complete strangers from other countries, other cultures, and you're there for this exciting celebratory meal, and you're sitting beside them for hours, because that's, like, it's not a quick dinner, right? It's, you're sitting there,
No.
you're in this kind of intimate setting. And you're right, it is a really interesting opportunity to get to know someone from a different part of the world and, different background and whatever. And that's what makes it unique and memorable, I think. And for people who want to go there, that's probably the experience they're looking for, because we don't get that. Like you said, it's something that the eating together, even with your family, is something that we're losing, So an opportunity to have a special night in that kind of setting, like the boat, is amazing too. I mean, it's just, everything about it is unique. It's amazing that you guys are doing that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we love doing it. We love it, like from the beginning, and we still love what we do. Yeah, and you're right. Like Dan and I, we get to be with people who actually come to us, right, from all over the world.
Yeah, they've
Or from
chosen
here,
you.
or from here. And it's true. Like, you come here, and the chances are so slim that you're going to find somebody here that really
Right.
slim, unless you come as your own group. Of
Right.
course, you're coming together, but it's not the case. Like, for us, it's like whoever comes, everybody is welcome, right? Like, everybody is welcome. But the idea of all the people coming to us from all over the world, and we get to be with them, we get to experience that. We
Exactly.
get to experience the world with their own stories, and to be part of it, and to be part of their lives, because we're in it as well, right? And be part of celebrations, because it's not just a dinner for 14 or 2 or 5. It's a celebration,
It's an
and we get to be
experience.
part of it. And it's an experience, because sometimes we'll have a group celebrating anniversary, and they bring in their families and their friends, or sometimes it's a retirement party. We even had weddings here.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it's a celebration. How about funerals? Like, when people, they don't want to, dealing with funerals, and so they don't want to be cooking as well. So we take that burden away from them, and they'll come here with their families and have dinner and have a couple laughs, and and we are part of it too. We're witnessing this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you guys are amazing hosts too. I mean, you've got your own unique backgrounds, and you both bring a lot to the table. So as far as being part of it, like you said, you guys are right in there with everyone else. I mean, you've got a lot to offer from that side. So that adds to it as well.
Yeah, it's like mom and dad. They're right in the kitchen, and they're right with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. It's amazing, and I love it because I've seen you in action, like with your literally the steam is raising, and you've got your apron on, and you're in the middle of a major meal that you're trying to get the food out, and you always have a smile, and you're always like, it's just like it's like the muse is running through you. You're just like, this is what you're meant to do. You're so
Yeah.
amazing at hosting. And so is Dan. I mean, you guys
Yeah.
are just incredible hosts. And I see on your website, like, you have earned awards for that, like the super
Oh
host
yeah.
designation from Airbnb. And
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I
just,
forgot about that.
yeah.
And we actually end up with we got the tourism and hospitality community excellence as well, that we've received
I believe it. Oh,
here in
yeah.
Port Alberni, with the
Yeah.
support from our community as well. So we really love what we do, and it's when you do something that you're passionate about, it makes all the difference.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
Yes.
So this is a passion. It's not because we're we're not like making like tons of money or anything, but we're doing it because we're passionate about it. And it's, that's the main reason.
Oh,
Have you got any
absolutely.
Have you got any fun stories from different experiences you've had with over the years?
Yeah, we do. Funny you said that. We have lots of, our guest books that we give them when they, after breakfast when they're about to leave. We make sure that they write us a story or tell us, or write something about themselves. And we have, I don't know how many books we had over the years, but really nice to, in the wintertime, that's when we kind of each grab a book and go, and we kind of reminisce on how did our summer go. And, because at that point we're really exhausted, right? And then kind of some stories, when we remember who wrote this, we'll laugh about it. But stories, endless stories. There's
bet.
always a story. There's always somebody out of those 14 people who is going to be funny. or with a character, there's always that. And over the years, really every year it brings some experience. Sometimes it's, what I mean, it's sad or I don't know, it's just, but most of the experiences are really happy and funny, like, yeah. The one that I can think really will always stick in my mind is this guy who was from Sweden. He was from Sweden, and really, really, the barrier in the kitchen, like we have a glass, so for food safe. So people don't come inside the galley, inside where I cook. And this guy had his boundaries were like all over the map. So he'll come close to me and he wants to talk to me. And I'm like, and I'll push him kind of without pushing him with my hand. I kind of just, with my body, I kind of keep like getting out of my space so he can get out. And he wants to talk to me and talk. And I'm chopping and he's talking and telling me all these stories. La, 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 la. I mean, like literally. And and his wife come to me and she said, my husband, he's going to drive you crazy. She said, he talks a lot. And I was like, it's okay. We'll tolerate him. But anyways, and they stayed with us, I believe, for 3 days.
Oh, wow.
And he shared so many, but he was funny. At the end, when he wrote in our book, in our guest book, he drew his face and he drew the glasses and he drew exactly how his face looked. And he put blah, 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 blah. And he's like, to remember him. That's he knew. I mean, there's so many stories to share. There's one that I really like to share. We had a group of ladies who came here a few years back, and at the beginning, kind of, I didn't feel that love from them, like that connection. I was like, okay, and I'm cooking, I'm doing my thing, and they sat outside of, on the deck, and they had some wine, and they were part of the dinner. So anyways, we made the dinner, and they had the dinner, and kind of things have changed after because they were sitting with other people and get to know them a little bit. And one of those ladies, so these ladies, they were all in their 70s. And one of the ladies, her hair was, I will never forget her hair, her face. I can still remember it till today. Her hair was silver white like it actually looked silver, and it's not colored silver. It was natural, beautiful silver. Her skin was so tan, and her eyes were very blue, like ocean blue. Just a beautiful, beautiful lady. And I think the story happened in September. I was starting to feel worn out a little bit and exhausted. Next day, when they were leaving, she came to me in the kitchen and she held my hands and she said to me, I just want to say something to you. I don't think you know who I am. And I said, no, I don't. And at this point, I'm already starting to have tears in my eyes. She just touched my hands. Okay. She held them. And she said, they call me the cancer angel. And I said, wow. And she said, you know why they call me the cancer angel? She said, I just go to hospitals and I sit with people who are dying and I just talk to them. And my tears started just to come down. Like I was just like, I was so
Wow.
emotional. And she said to me, can I put my hands on your shoulders? And I said, yeah, you can, absolutely. And she put her hands on my shoulders and she closed her eyes and she did a prayer,
Mm.
right? It was not a loud prayer. And and she said to me, you give so much energy. You're such a hardworking woman and you don't have to worry about anything because you are so protected. And I'm like, what is going on here? She said to me, don't worry about anything. She said, just keep doing what you're doing and work from your heart and give that love because you're changing a lot of people's lives. And
Wow.
Wow.
and I just started to just bawl, and she hugged. I was like, "Can I hug you?" And she, and she hugged me. And still till today, I keep telling Dan and anybody I tell the story to, and I was like, that woman was not human.
No doubt.
She was an angel.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. That
What
is
an experience.
incredible. Oh my gosh. I'm totally crying. That
So
is
of course, like I said to you guys earlier, in September, the end of September, yeah, I do become emotional because I start feeling the exhaustion because this is not a business that you just say I'm tired and you leave.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
you,
have to
you
It's
just
your
stay.
life.
work
It's your
through the
life.
summer, right?
You
Your
have to
Every
home.
work
day.
through the summer
Yeah.
and you have to push through and say yes I can, yes I can, yes I can, yes I'm doing it, yes I'm doing it, yes I can, until the end of the season. And like you wake up 6:30 in the morning and you're the last person to go to bed, of course. So sometimes it's not till midnight or 1 o'clock, so and you
Hmm.
repeat for so. But again, I'm not saying this to complain or anything. It is what we chose to do, and we do it because we're passionate about it. Like the passion takes over and it makes you forget about those pains.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And
Wow.
I bet that the cancer angel, the woman you were talking about, I bet she could sense like the night before that you were it was almost like the balance was off, like you were giving, 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 and you
Oh
weren't
yeah,
getting the love back, like you weren't getting the connection from them really, or just, like there was something off maybe, and
it
you just
was.
probably felt so like, okay, this is like I'm drained and I'm like giving you everything I got here. I need something back. And maybe she could sense that. And maybe
Well, yeah,
like,
that's why I'm saying
no,
she's an angel because she
yeah.
sensed that. She really picked on my energy and she knew that I was just tired. It's not because I'm somebody who just, if not a bad person or anything, it's just she knew and she
Yeah.
gave me that. That was what she did. It was to encourage me, to
Mm.
empower me,
Hmm.
to give me that boost that I needed,
Yes.
to make me
Yes.
believe in myself and I'm going to be okay and I'm going to get through this.
Oh, exactly. It was almost like this little energy boost that,
Yeah.
just the prayer and just like the gratitude that she knew that you were doing this, from a place of love and passion, and this is you're so good at this, and she wanted you to know that because maybe you weren't feeling it and your cup was
Yeah.
empty at that point. So,
Yep.
oh my gosh, I
Exactly.
love that. That's
Exactly.
like the best story, eh, Rob?
Yeah. It just goes to show you too how simple it is to boost someone's, like she took you from where you were to like way up, right? With just a few simple
Hmm.
words and disconnecting and like it doesn't take much. And I mean, we all need to
No.
be doing that to each other. And it's people think, oh, it's so much work to whatever, but no, it's not. Like you just have to be nice to people, show a bit of gratitude and show some love through a few simple words or just gestures, right? And it can
Mhm.
make
Yeah.
a huge difference.
Mhm.
Yeah, great
Absolutely.
story.
The difference it makes to just smile, even with a smile, you don't have to
Hmm.
make a lot of effort. You know how sometimes when somebody smiles at you and it just boosts you right away, and
Yeah,
it's such a
exactly.
simple gesture that makes a whole difference in someone else's life because we don't know what
Yeah,
anybody's going through when we see them, when we meet them. Because I didn't know what they were going through, and
Hmm.
and obviously they can see based on how much running I do, they can see it visually, they can see it physically that I'm running around. And yeah, I needed that boost that day.
And not to mention, like you are doing like you're a personal trainer, and you also
Oh,
do classes, Zumba classes, like at least twice a
yeah.
week. And I go to those, and it's like high energy and like we're it's sculpting and all of that, and so it's amazing. I mean, I guess it's a way for you to also keep your own physical health and mental health, toned up, and so that you have all of the resources and energy to give to your guests in the summer.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, exactly. And anybody asks me, how do you do all these things? I'm like, okay, everything balances itself. Okay.
Yes.
I know when I have had enough, I recognize that. I recognize it. And that's when I go to my classes, or I go for a walk, or I go home back to Morocco. So yeah, so I do teach Zumba. Zumba
Go
is just
right. Bye, guys. That's
it's a
hilarious.
fun thing. It's a
Totally.
fun, you just dance, and as you saw, Sandra, our group of ladies, they're just beautiful, empowering women, and nobody cares about how you're dancing or how you're moving. It's just you listen to music and you let go, and that's my time for me to let go as well. Yeah. So training, fitness, and all that, it's balancing off everything. It's not
Yeah.
just for the sake of looking good or losing weight or so. It's the whole package. It's like, it's taking care of my mental health. It's, dealing with the stage of life that I'm going through right now, which is menopause, dealing with my life, my children, my family, everything. And being a chef as well. So, yeah.
I know. It's incredible, all the things you're juggling in life, Bouchra. And speaking of well, not speaking of it, but I guess you probably can't go to any potlucks in the summer. But when you do a potluck, we've been to potlucks with you at other people's houses. And when you go to a potluck, what is something that you might bring for a dish to share?
Well, I definitely have to bring my green hummus.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We go to potlucks that you go to. We say, is Bouchra going to be there? And if you're going, then we go.
You're going.
Yeah, then we go.
So I really like to take, if I don't have leftovers, lamb, because lamb is best when it's actually, the day before, like it's a day old or 2 days old.
Really?
It really, all those spices, they really kind of come together really nicely. So what I do is, this is my favorite thing. And I've, if it's available, I will shred because I normally will make a leg of lamb, and I I shred that meat, and I just separate it together, and I mix it with the jus from it, and I will put that on either my homemade bread or sourdough bread, and with a Greek yogurt with lemon and a little bit of honey, and I put this Moroccan salsa with red onions, parsley and cilantro, and cumin and sea salt, and that will go on top with the Greek yogurt. That will be my dish to take.
Wow.
And olive oil, and good olive oil. Cannot forget about good olive oil.
Totally.
Because a bad olive oil it makes all the difference in dishes.
Yeah, you're right.
Interesting. Oh, that's holy. And the green hummus, what's in the green hummus?
So my green hummus, actually, which is I actually sell here from the tugboat, and I actually, today is the day that people come and pick it up. So you pre-order it. So what's in it? It's anything that's green. It's fresh, dry chickpeas or garbanzos that I pre-soaked, and I cook them. I cook them in some Moroccan spices, and I add lots of garlic, lemon juice, anything that's green. If I have kale available, I would put kale and spinach and everything. By the way, I call it organic green hummus because everything in it is organic, and some heat from either jalapeno or chili peppers, and some scallions, and lots of good olive oil again, and there you go. You get green, organic green hummus, and I sell it on Fridays.
Nice. I'm just looking at it on your Facebook page. It looks delicious. So we had some technical difficulties and lost Bouchra there, but we will fill in her contact information and just kind of wrap things up here.
Well, technically, Bouchra and I lost you.
Well, that...
Because we were still talking and you were gone and you weren't recording anymore. So,
yes.
So I'm going to say one thing she did mention at the end. She mentioned that for their meals, and their kitchen uses the local CSA box. And we actually did an episode with Joanne from Rome Market Garden, episode 115, Eating Local. So people can refer back to that one.
Yeah, there was a ton of great information in that as well. So be sure to check that out. And like Sandra was saying, the Swept Away Inn, where Bouchra is, her and her husband run the Swept Away Inn. That's what they're using. Just local, organic, fresh, keeping it real.
Yeah, that was so great having Bouchra on. We've known her for so many years, and the work they're doing and the amazing hospitality they are offering visitors from around the world is just incredible.
Yeah, it really is a unique experience. It's just we're so lucky to have that in our hometown here, and to be able to partake in that from time to time. It's I think we gave a pretty good impression of what happens when you go for dinner down there, and hopefully people can sort of get the feeling of what happens. And it really is a neat experience.
Yeah. And it really shows that food is celebration, and that everybody's welcome to eat together with friends and family and strangers that become friends. Mm-hmm. And it's really an amazing experience.
Yeah. They've got some pretty amazing social media pages with lots of great pictures of everything we discussed. So there's all her food that she makes, all there's pictures of the ship on there. Yeah, so that will give you the visual. You can check them out on Facebook under Swept Away Inn, and on Instagram as well under Swept Away Inn. And if you're traveling, give them a call. It's a one-of-a-kind experience, and definitely worth it if you're passing through Vancouver Island area. So that is it for this week. We will be back on Wednesday. In the meantime, you can check out our website. We've got lots of great information there. We've got a great blog. You can sign up for our weekly newsletter. If you have questions about the show or ideas, or you just want to say hi, you can drop us an email at mywifetherd@gmail.com. And the website is mywifethedietitian.com. You can also find us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And we'd love to hear your reviews as well, your comments, your feedback. That's just so important for us. It keeps us moving in the right direction, and we want to make sure we're giving you the information that you want to hear. So yeah, don't be shy. Let us know what your thoughts are. You can do that through most of the social media pages that we're part of, as well as the podcast platforms that you listen to. There's always a function there where you can drop a comment. Don't forget to share the show with your friends too. That's always super helpful for us. And like we always say, your friends like to know what you're listening to. So thanks again to Bouchra. We will be back on Wednesday with our nutrition nuggets. So until then, have a great week, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on My Wife the Dietitian. If you like what you heard, don't be shy. Leave us a comment or review, and be sure to share our podcast with your friends. If you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media pages for updates, episode trailers, and other odds and ends. For more info and links on what we discussed on today's episode, check the show notes. We'll be back next week with another informative and fun-filled episode.